I'm going to say something that might sound a little harsh, but I need you to hear me out. You should be worried about your life. Now, I don't mean you should be anxious or panicking. I'm not talking about that kind of draining, stressful worry. I'm talking about being just worried enough to finally wake up. Because here's a hard truth. If everything in your life feels just fine, that's usually a warning sign that things are quietly, slowly going wrong. It's the silence before the storm you don't even know is coming. Let me tell you a story about a good friend of mine. We'll just call him Ryan. Ryan was a great guy. He had a nice job, a new phone, and he enjoyed his weekends. On the surface, nothing was wrong at all, and that, right there, was the problem. The years started to blur together. He was in the same job, with the same daily habits, and the same dreams he'd had for years, just sitting on a shelf, untouched and collecting dust. Then one night, right after his birthday, he turned to me and said something that I will never, ever forget. He looked at me, and his voice was quiet, almost a whisper, and he said, "Bro, I feel like I'm running out of time." Think about that for a second. He wasn't broke. He wasn't failing in the traditional sense of the word. He was stuck. And that feeling, the feeling of being completely stagnant, scared him more than the thought of failure ever could. This is a trap that so many of us fall into. Most people don't actively ruin their lives with some big, dramatic decision. Instead, they just drift. They drift through their days, their weeks, their years, and eventually, they drift into a life they never consciously chose for themselves. Comfort is the culprit here. It's a numbing agent. It's that little voice in your head that whispers, "It's okay, you can deal with it tomorrow," or "Next year will be your year." Or the most dangerous one of all, one day. The problem is that one day eventually arrives, and when you look around, you realize with a sinking feeling that absolutely nothing has changed. That's precisely why I'm telling you that you should be worried. There's a sign that nobody ever talks about, a red flag that's so subtle it's easy to miss. It's when you stop being excited about your own future. Think about it. Does that sound familiar? You wake up, you mindlessly scroll through your phone, you go to work, you eat, you come home, you go to sleep, and then you repeat the whole cycle. There's no fire in your belly. There's no healthy fear pushing you forward. There's no real direction. That isn't a state of peace. That's living life on autopilot. You're a passenger in your own life, not the pilot. So what did Ryan do? He didn't just quit his job overnight in some grand, dramatic gesture. He did something much, much harder. He finally got honest with himself. Brutally honest. He sat down and asked himself a question that most of us are too afraid to even consider. If my life stays exactly like this for the next 10 years, would I be proud of the person I've become? The answer to that question hurt him. It was a punch to the gut, but that pain was the catalyst he needed. He started small. He didn't try to change everything at once. He started dedicating his nights to learning a new skill. He started saying no to things that weren't moving him closer to his goals. He started intentionally choosing discomfort over comfort. He joined a public speaking club, even though it terrified him. He started going to the gym at 5 a.m., even when his bed felt impossibly warm. And slowly but surely, day by day, he came back to life. The spark returned to his eyes. Worry, the kind I'm talking about, isn't a weakness. It's a signal. It's your inner self trying to tell you something important. It's a message that says, you care. It says, you're not done yet. It says, there's more to life than this, and you want it. The most dangerous people in the world aren't the ones who are scared of failure. The truly dangerous ones are the ones who have become completely comfortable. So yes, I'm telling you again, be worried. Be worried enough to finally make a change. Be worried enough to start moving, even if it's just one small step. Be worried enough to stop wasting these precious days that you will never, ever get back. Because the real tragedy in life isn't failing. It's getting to the end and realizing, with deep regret, that you never really, truly tried. You just let it all slip away. If this message hit you, if it resonated with you somewhere deep down, do me a favor and hit that like button. Subscribe for more honest motivation. No fluff, just the real stuff. And before you go, I want you to make a promise to yourself. Comment down below with the words, "I'm not done." Because if you're here, watching this right now, it means you're not. You're not even close. Now go out there and prove it. There.